Hey again, everyone. Thank you for joining me. There are a lot of folks making a lot of content out there, so if you are here with my discussions, it is much appreciated. I don't ask for PayPal. I don't ask for donations of any kind. I prefer the payment of the comments down in the comments section. I like to hear your thoughts on what I put up here. So anyway, with that being said, there were a couple of folks when I asked about, a couple of folks had mentioned some things that we wanted to talk about, and I haven't gotten around to it because I've had a severe headache, some really terrible problems that we're having. I didn't feel very well for the last couple of weeks, and this is kind of a PSA. When you're out there in the summer and you get headaches, you don't feel good, everything, you need to check your electrolytes because, of course, in my catastrophic thinking, I was absolutely certain that I had a brain tumor, but as it turns out, a good friend of mine pointed me in the right direction, and just some of the drinks like Pedialyte, whatnot, even Gatorade or something will put that back. Just water alone won't, just like the commercials say, water alone won't cure that for you. But now, here we are, and I am back to the discussion. So, when I asked about what y'all wanted to talk about, I'm going to try to remember. One of the commenters had mentioned something about more coping skills, please. And I don't think that's really the angle that at least I'm trying to make. Because coping, the climate of trying to cope with something really doesn't have the really the description of what I'm trying to do. Coping is more like, maybe drinking when they're not, I don't know, drinking too much alcohol, but I'm not sure what that really means. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to try to answer that in a way that I think that you mean. Coping is really not what we want to do. We want to move toward no contact. That has been established over and over again. But if you cannot go no contact, like if you have kids with them, or if you're in some legal arrangement with them, or you're married to them and you can't get out, you don't have enough money, there are reasons why people can't go no contact. That's why I get so bent out of shape when people say, well, just go no contact in the comments section of really any of these discussions, because a lot of times people just can't. Otherwise, they wouldn't be here on the discussions. I mean, surely you understand that. So coping is not really what we want to do. So we're going to move past coping with a narcopath to going no contact. And if you can't, there are some tools that you can use. We've been discussing those for several years now. One is to never ever let the narcopath know your plans. Don't let them know anything, because they use everything against you anyway. And start taking some pages out of their book. If you're dealing with a narcopath, you got to put your sense of fair play away, because they're not playing the same game you're playing, okay? So if you have to lie to one, lie your ass off. Don't tell them where you're going. Tell them you're going some other place. Throw them off the path. Tell one of their flying monkeys something that gets back to them that will get them to stop doing what they're doing. Don't play your game and your rules when you're having to deal with a narcopath and their rules. It's not fair. It's not designed to be fair. It's designed to get you to comply. And that's what the next part of this discussion is going to be about, is compliance. The narcopath will do things to you to get you to comply. Now, in my case, to the narco twat that I was married to, it's important to know that it was very easily, it was easy to get me to comply, because I felt like that's what you're supposed to do. When you have a family, or you have a significant other, a marriage, a man and a woman, that's what that is. If you have that kind of relationship, it is give and take, right? And in our case, it was a give and take relationship. I gave, and she took continually. So it was easy until it wasn't, and I became aware that, hey, I'm being taken advantage of. It only took me about maybe 2 decades to realize that this was happening, because it was normal. It was something that I had grown up with, complying with people that didn't have my best interest at heart. And it's pretty easy to get people to do that, especially if it's a mother or a parent. In my case, it was a mother that would get me to comply because it's your mom. That's what you trust them, and they get you to do things. And that nasty twat, she got me to do things that were so damaging. It's just, looking back, it's just one of the drawbacks about waking up and becoming wiser to these people's ways is that you look back, you're like, God, really? How come it took me so long, and all the mistakes you made because of listening to them? It's just disgusting the way these narco twats act. It was just awful. So anyway, I thought that it was normal that you complied. That's what you do. If you care about your family, you make concessions. You do things. You rearrange your own wants to please them. At some point in time, especially like near the end, and this is when, almost to the day, when I finally said, no, you're gonna give me something back after this. I mean, look, I'm not bragging or anything, but things were pretty good, and it was because of my effort and my hard work and my planning. It was not because of what the narcopath had done. She had sat on her hands pretty much the entire time and let me pretty much do all the work, and it got really, really tiring. And there was a point where it's like, look, you're gonna have to reciprocate. It's been a long time now, and I swear to God, it's like literally to the day when the secret plans of the narco twat came out. These people, they're so goddamn evil. It amazes me that you're not looking for it. That's why if you start looking for it, you will see it. And at some level, we kind of know. All right, I'm going to be honest, at some level, something's not right, but you really don't want to peek behind that door. And when you do, you see things like, oh, well, that's why speaking of a door, the back door was unlocked when I wasn't there. And that's why during the divorce, that guy was driving her mom's car suddenly. He's been in the picture for years. And when you drive home, you got that feeling, and you're driving from your friend's lake house early on a Sunday morning, and you call 10 minutes before you get there, and she's in full makeup at 7:30 on a Sunday morning, rearranging pillows on the couch, and the back door is open. I think you know where I'm going. And you ask, hey, where are the kids? Oh, they're at grandma. Where's we have a small child. Oh, then she's at so-and-so's, or he's at so-and-so's house. Okay, so and you just don't pay attention, right? So anyway, then you start to pay attention, and you start to understand what it is you're going to go through. The second that you begin to unravel the narcopath's lies and their deception is the second that you're in for a very, very rough ride. That's why you don't want to let them know anything. Don't let them know if you know, because you need to start making plans to exit. If I had known what and I was practicing this stuff like almost immediately, because I'd done everything I could do. I knew that I had how do I put this? I had accomplished and served my family more than I could, more than was even normally expected. I knew something was going to happen. But anyway, I didn't know it was going to be that bad. So if you leave me, we're not going to have a talk. As a matter of fact, on the compliance side of this, it's pretty funny because I'd already gone, I guess, as Dad Surviving Divorce, Dwayne puts it, he calls it hybrid no contact. I really love that guy's channel. He's so great. Anyway, hybrid no contact. And I had to answer the phone for the dirty narco twat. And I talked to her kind of basically the way I'm talking to you now. I wasn't just real thrilled. And to understand how far they expect compliance, and this is really weird. I'll never forget when she said, you just need to get over it. Now, this is like weeks after, that she starts to unravel everything I had made for us and everyone. And the thing that stuck out was, you haven't changed a bit. And I'm like, well, I don't take my cues from narcopaths. I didn't know that that's what she was at the time. But yeah, I haven't changed a bit. What would make you think I would change, especially now? And here's what it is. After the abuse, the court abuse and the financial abuse and the degradation and the humiliation rituals that they continue to put me through, that I was supposed to change. I was supposed to comply. I was supposed to get back in my box and do what it was that I was supposed to do. And maybe, just maybe, she would consider taking me back. I'm sure that's the message that I was getting then. I didn't know it at the time. But of course I wasn't going to comply anymore, because why? So if you're going to get treated like shit, whether you comply or whether you don't comply, and it took me a minute to think about this. There was something going on. Our kids were in a private school, and the parents had this like cleaning duty once a month, and it was all voluntary. We didn't have to do it. And she told me how we were just going to do this, and you need to be here at what time. And I'm like, you talk to me like that no matter what. What's in it for me? Where's the upside to this? There is none. So when you realize that there is no upside to complying with a narcopath, and you just stop it, it stops their game. It stops it right in its tracks, okay? So don't tell them the truth. Don't let them know what's going on, and stop complying, even if you have to lie about it. Even if you have to tell them that you're complying. And when they start sending their flying monkeys around to try to make you comply for this or that, or they, try the carrot and stick or the hoovering and the nonsense. I mean, I recently had some nonsense like that happen. It's just, and you think that it's over with some of these people. They will continue as long as they think that there is an end to get something from you. They will continue to show up. So never, ever, ever comply with them. If you're complying today, stop. It's time. It's time that you take your world back. So anyway, I hope that look, I'm sorry I didn't come. I really didn't feel well, and thank God it wasn't a brain tumor. I swear it hurt so bad I thought it must have been once. Anyway, things are lovely. I'm going to continue to try baking on Saturday if I can. Again, I don't expect any payment. I don't expect you to get a PayPal. But if you do appreciate the content, my payment is your comments. And I like the discussion that we have, because this channel helps me hopefully as much as it helps other people. I hope that it is helping others. Y'all say it does, so I still come back and have these discussions with you. So, all right. Anyway, I hope that helps. I really do. It means a lot to me that some of you say that it does, and even if it's your last 10 minutes on Earth, and you get to experience that's what we all wanted to, anyways, freedom and happiness, and that neither one of those things cost money. I know it seems like it sometimes. The lack of freedom and the lack of funds can make someone definitely feel unhappy, but those do not cause it in and of themselves. Very important that we know those lessons too. So anyway, I hope that helps, and I'm glad to see you all again, and I'm going to sign off. I hope to see you all again real soon. Thank you.